Hello guys, this is Nino here and welcome to a Malaysian Grand Prix review that happened a few hours ago, and a very eventful, very controversial Malaysian Grand Prix, and basically team orders again coming into play, not once, twice, with two different teams. But anyway, let's start from the start. Vettel was on pole from the two Ferraris of Massa and Alonso, and Lewis Hamilton fourth. And everybody got away very well, including Webber this time. None of that nonsense starting, although last time in Australia wasn't kind of his fault. But anyway, everybody got a start. Everybody was on the inters because it was kind of damp. The track was kind of damp. And yeah, Alonso managed to get a pass in the team in turn one, but had quite a bit of oversteer. And yeah, just tapped the back of Vettel, which kind of managed to damage his front wing. And then there was a bit of a confusion between the Ferrari pit box and Alonso. Seems like they were ready for him to come in after the first lap. After he made his way back in the first lap, but Alonso either didn't want to come in or he didn't hear the order to come in. Don't know. Maybe he didn't know his front wing was damaged, but I don't know. He stayed out. And down the home straight, his front wing gave way, and he careered into the gravel, and he beached his car and was out of the race. Not a very happy 200 Grand Prix for Fernando. But yeah, it was pretty okay race, and was kind of comedic. And when Hamilton came into the first pit stop, he went straight into the McLaren garage instead, realised his error, and then had to turn away and go into the Mercedes garage. Kind of funny, kind of what like Johnson did in China a few years ago. And yeah, it was kind of end-to-end action. Those events where, like, for example, Raikkonen and Hulkenberg, very close together. Raikkonen not very happy with him, and also some teams struggling with pit stops. Lotus are one, Force India with one, McLaren as well. Lotus, tried a free stop race, but the tyre wear was just too great when they went into the sixth, obviously, and they had to do a fourth pit stop. Force India seemed to have a malfunction with their wheel nut when Paul di Resta came in, and he had to retire. I think Adrian Sutter had the same problem, and also McLaren, when Jenson Button came in, I think it was his third pit stop. His front right wheel wasn't attached properly. It was loose, and he was halfway down the pit lane when he stopped. And obviously there's no reversing the pit lane because of safety. So McLaren had to rush to his car and push him back and attach the front right, but it cost him a lot of time, and he eventually had to retire. And so we got on to near the end of the race, which is where I'm going to talk about the team orders controversy. First of all, Red Bull, after the final pit stops, Webber came out in front of Vettel, and Webber had a remarkable race, really, and it looked like it was his to win. But Vettel was all over the back of him, but Red Bull gave the order out for both drivers to maintain the gap, which is, if you don't know, to keep track position, do not overtake each other, and start conserving fuel, which is what many teams do. And Mark did so. He backed off, but Sebastian didn't, and that's where the controversy starts. Vettel managed to get the pass through after some quite end-to-end action, almost touching Sebastian and Mark. Eventually Sebastian went through, and it started very controversial. Sebastian went on to win the race, and obviously Mark wasn't very happy about it, and he obviously was very angry with him. I think once Vettel passed him on the track, I think he gave the cheeky finger to Vettel, for those who didn't see it. But yeah, it was very controversial. Vettel didn't handle that properly, and obviously I'm not a fan of team orders as much as the next guy, but when it's given, the driver's expected to obey it. Vettel obviously didn't do it, and that's what about that one. And but obviously Red Bull were not the only team with team order controversy. Mercedes had the same problem as well. Hamilton was third, Rosberg was fourth. Saying going to be a good result for the team. Hamilton was a bit slower, and he was told to conserve fuel. Rosberg was, but he still had the pace, and he had the pace to pass Hamilton. Sorry, and but Mercedes gave the order to maintain the position. But Rosberg complained, he's much faster. Let him pass, and this is obviously for a third place finish, for a podium finish. So obviously, Rosberg wanted to pass, but Rosberg was like negative, maintain the gap, and obviously Rosberg was very frustrated, but he obeyed. He stayed behind. I think it was just like less than 3/10 behind Hamilton on the finish line. But he obeyed, unlike Sebastian. And kind of calmly, Lewis went up on the podium. When he was interviewed on the podium, said, it should have been Nico on the podium, not him. But at least they were noble about it. And most of the controversies on Red Bull and less on Mercedes. Mercedes kind of handled it better. They did handle it better. But Red Bull is, so the controversy. And yeah, Mark not really happy with Sebastian. Sebastian, even though apologized, still being, a bit controversy, especially on Twitter about him. Because many people don't like him. Many people don't like him because he's won 3 championships, and many people don't like him. And I just kind of feel sorry for both Mark and Nico. They should have better results. But Formula One is about Formula One is very political, as it was in the past. It is still now. Kind of less, but it is still very political, and it's a lot about the money, and yeah, that's how Formula One is always going to be. Unfortunately, it takes kind of the edge away from the excitement of racing. But team orders are team orders. As much as I don't enjoy them, as much as anybody doesn't enjoy them, driver is given a team order, you have to obey it. That's all I'm going to say for Malaysian Grand Prix. It's mostly about the controversy, but yeah, guys, this has been AF Nino. Please like and subscribe for more F1 content and for more F1 news, race previews, race reviews, and obviously gaming content coming soon. We'll have the Chinese Grand Prix in 3 weeks' time, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.